Zacian in the 8th generation of Uber.
And Steel. The best offensive type and the best defensive type combined to make something not even remotely balanced.
Speed drops and you think, oh no, it's in the worst possible position. It's not going to get any attacks off here, but it is, and it is able to go into that Grimstyle and pick up a big knockout loop.
Acuna is your 2022 Pokémon World Champion!
How the tables have turned. Like seriously, how the did this happen? Zacian has had one of the biggest downfalls of Pokemon history, but how can a Pokemon that looks like this go from a 60% use rate to never being used at all? Let's first look back to when Zacian was introduced in the best generation ever made, the one that gave us Clobbopus. Give it up for Generation 8, baby. Okay, settle down. I said shut up. Now, what made this dog... that's kind of cringe. What made this dog named Princess the second most used Pokemon? Use more than Calyrex Shadow Rider that has this, and oh yeah, that. Well, it's quite simple, really. Zacian has many tricks up his sleeve. Let's start with... ooh, that one. The ability card. Now, Zacian and Zamazenta, I guess, but... Shoot! It's not your turn yet, Zamazenta. They have a unique ability with Intrepid Sword and Dauntless Shield. Damn, those names are bad. But these abilities raise the attack of Zacian and the defense of Zamazenta every time they enter battle. Like, what? Here I thought Ultra Beast boost was good, but like, you've been switching in, now you're Intimidator, and now I'm at -3 attack. You're so fine. This was an insane ability that had no need to be this good, especially on Zacian. He didn't even need it. I mean, look at these stats back in Sword and Shield. And he learned Sword Dance? I mean, it makes sense. He's like one of, what, 2 Pokemon who actually have a sword? You win this one, Zacian. And poor Zamazenta, he gets Iron Defense, which is really good for him. But they didn't give him Body Press in Gen 8. Like, what? Excuse me, sir. I would like the move Body Press in Zamazenta.
We can't put the move Body Press in Zamazenta.
What? But it makes so much sense.
We can't do that.
You can do that. I'm trying to make sure Zamazenta gets a little play.
Zama who?
You just added this new move.
Yup.
A move that uses the defense stat to attack with.
Yup.
You just made a whole new Pokemon with the gimmick of a large defense stat, which should therefore get Body Press.
That makes sense to me.
Then add the move.
We can't put Body Press in Zamazenta.
Luckily, this ability only activates when Zacian is holding the Rusted Sword, which means no item for you. Instead, you only get a huge stat buff and broken ability. What a loser, right, guy? Huh? Oh, look who's back in Zacian. Let's see what card we get now. That one. Ooh, gimmicks.
What the hell is that? Everyone's got a gimmick now.
Another reason why Zacian was completely broken in Sword and Shield is because of the game's gimmick of Dynamax. Now I hear you saying, but Pokino, Zacian and Zamazenta are one of the few Pokemon who were unable to Dynamax, and okay, yeah, but if you know that, then you also know why they're completely broken the gimmick they couldn't even access. Because of the moves Behemoth Blade and Bash, which could only be accessed when one of the dogs named Princess Nuclear Bomb were holding their respective items, and they had the move Iron Head, which would transform to their respective moves. Now, what makes them so good? Well, when one Dynamaxes, they will double their HP as long as this meter was maxed out, and thus would be a pain in the to take out. Darn, what is someone to do? Oh wait, these moves double in power when hitting a Dynamax Pokemon. Problem solved. So now we have a Pokemon with broken stats, broken ability, and a move that completely counters the game's gimmick. Game Freak, you guys are geniuses. I'm sure there's no other way to make this Pokemon overpowered. Oh wait, we have one more card. Huh. Look at that, it's also the best type in the game. Steel Fairy's just an amazing typing, having 9 resistances and 2 whole immunities. It's hit neutral for 5 and is only hit super affected by fire and ground. Yup. Okay, So we covered why Zacian was such a good Pokemon, but now how do we go from that to this in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Well, let's start with the most obvious part, his stats.
Look how they mess with my boy.
And then Dynamax, straight into the trash. We got a new gimmick this generation, baby, with terrestrialization, which hurts Zacian in two ways. One, the most obvious, his signature now, well, has no signature. It lost its gimmick, and thus, for nothing tapped to counter, why bring Zacian as your one restricted mon? For its type? Well, this is where terrestrialization also hurts poor Princess here, because if you already have the best type in the game, why terrestrialize? Just hit harder? Okay, that works, but look at that, Crydon just turned into a pure fire type. What are you going to do now that both your stab moves are now resistant to it? There's just no way for Zacian to keep up, and just put that final nail in the coffin, they completely nerf Zacian's ability, only allowing the attack buff once a game. Now, there's no real reason to choose Zacian. I mean, why choose Zacian when you could have something like one of the counter charges, or Zamazenta? Wait, Zamazenta! That's right, my fellow Pokefans, we can switch these names because now Zamazenta is the threat of Pokemon, being one of the most restricted mons. Before we look at Zamazenta and Scarlet and Violet, let's look back at his Sword and Shield meta.
It's blank.
Just kidding. Zamazenta would occasionally be used in Sword and Shield, but only for one specific purpose, the move Coach, in order to boost his partner's attack and defense, and yeah, that's basically it, so I guess I wasn't kidding when I said it was never used. Now he's used so much more in Scarlet and Violet. We take this as a win, but how did this even happen? Well, it's actually really simple. Body Press, a move that uses the defense stat to attack instead of the attack stat. Yup, that's actually it. They added one move to his move pool, creating a monster, I mean Princess, who does Iron Defense, Iron Defense, Iron Defense, and then Body Press, one-shotting basically any mon after that. Like, Zamazenta will never have a signature move Behemoth Bash, because it's actually useless. There's a better steel move right there in Heavy Slam, because Princess here is a fat. With the combo of Iron Defense and Body Press, Zamazenta is now a real threat that's extremely hard to get rid of. Like, look at these defense stats. It's crazy because their stats used to be so much better than Sword and Shield, but it got nerfed along with Zacian's. What's better is that since it only uses its defense stats, you don't ever have to put any EVs into its attack stats. So, you just put all your EVs into its defense, and kill two birds with one stone. Zamazenta can also kill multiple birds with one stone, hitting some of the most popular monsters super effective, like Caloric's Eye. Wait, he's a psychic. Kyurem White, because he's getting used a lot, right? Right? Whatever this is. And Incineroar. Speaking of Incineroar, what is the one thing Incineroar is known for? If you said attack drops, you are correct. But guess what? This doesn't matter at all for Zamazenta, because, well, he doesn't use his attack stat. At all! Let's go! We love to see counters for the cat. Now, Zamazenta does have some weaknesses, some of which just make him completely useless, like the move Taunt, which can make it so Zamazenta can't even get his Iron Defense off, and thus turns him back to his Sword and Shield counterpart. You know who else learns Taunt? You can't escape him. Something else that completely ruins Zamazenta is Encore. Oops, how unfortunate. Now you're stuck doing infinite Iron Defenses unless A, you switch out using any snap buffs you received, or B, wait for your Encore to end, wasting your turn. Another weakness is with the whole type, that being Ghost. You see, fighting, it just can't hit Ghost. So if you're up against a Ghost type, it's over. But there's an extremely easy counter to this. Bring your own Ghost type, because Ghost can other Ghosts. Or just consume the Ghost within eternal darkness. Zamazenta's Pokemon I am so happy to get buffs. After how horrible it was Gen 8, it deserved it. At least for the moment, until eventually it either A, falls off, or B, annoys me so much that I join the hate train that the VGC community has for the popular mons. But for now, I'm glad this doggo got its time to shine. I find it hilarious that they nerfed Zacian and Zamazenta's ability just to put his trade back in the game with Overpon. I mean, the god is already killed. There's no reason for you to spend the grave too.